everybody, I'm Juliana and you're watching Sprocket Girl. Today I'm back in my yoga studio and I want to focus particularly on the upper back, neck and shoulders area. Today's video is slow paced so that we can really get into those areas and relax into them and feel some really nice juicy stretches in our necks and upper backs and shoulders. And the reason why I want to focus on those areas particularly is that as a writer, that part of my body tends to get particularly sore. And I also have a desk job where I sit at a desk for 9 hours a day. And that doesn't really help with the tension in my upper back and neck area. So if you happen to be a writer who has a similar problem, or you have a desk job and you know that you have a lot of tension in your upper back and neck area, then maybe this video could be for you. So let's do this and give our backs, necks, and shoulders a little bit of love and TLC. Alright, come to a kneeling position, bring your toes together and your knees out wide, and lower yourself all the way down to the ground to child's pose. Keep your arms outstretched. Take a couple of deep, nourishing breaths here, and feel your weight slowly sinking into the ground. This should feel really good here on your hips and your upper back and shoulders. Just try to focus on your breathing and just imagine all the tension melting away into the ground. Now bring your hands over to your right side. Place your right hand on your left. And you should feel a nice stretch through your left arm and left body side here. Again, sink into this pose, take a couple of deep breaths, just relax. On your next inhale, slowly make your way over to your left side. Place your left hand over your right hand and do the same thing on this side. Relax into this pose and feel a really nice stretch through your right arm and your right side body. Take another couple of deep, nourishing breaths in this pose. Now make your way back to center and come to a tabletop position. Your knees should be directly above your hips, and your shoulders should be directly above your wrists. Then on an inhale, we'll do cow pose, look up, take a deep breath in, and exhale to cat pose. Round your upper back, like really dome your upper back. Inhale back to cow pose, look up, feel a nice stretch through your hips, and exhale back to cat pose. This should feel really good on your upper back. Now do cat-cow pose another couple of times in your own pace. Taking deep inhales and exhales and making sure to really dome through your upper back when you do cat. I also encourage you to find some interesting movement in this pose, anything that makes you feel good, like rotating from side to side, shifting your hips back and forward, rotating your whole torso and head. Just find what feels right to your body, what you need in this moment. This is a great pose to kind of explore that for yourself. You might even hear some cracks or crackles in your back, releasing some tension there. Now for thread the needle pose. Inhale your right arm up, and exhale, thread that right arm underneath your left shoulder and lower yourself all the way down to the ground, your right shoulder touching the ground. Take some nice deep breaths here. Your hips should still be above your knees, and you should feel a nice relaxing stretch through your right shoulder and right arm. Your left arm or left hand can be in front of you, or you can kind of prop yourself up on your left hand to get an even deeper stretch. One more breath here. Then on your next inhale, come back to tabletop position. And we'll do the same thing on the left side. Inhale your left arm up, and exhale, thread it through underneath your right shoulder, and come down onto your left shoulder. Same thing here. Take some deep breaths. Try to relax into this pose. Again, your right arm can either be flat on the ground, or you can prop your arm up and kind of get a deeper stretch through your left side. Couple more breaths in this position. And on your next inhale, come back to a tabletop position. Plant your hands underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes under. And slowly, slowly lift your hips up and back into our first downward dog of this series. Really take some time here to find what feels good. You can pedal out the feet, bend the knees. Doesn't matter if your foot doesn't touch the floor completely. It's totally okay to have a generous bend in the knees here. Also make sure you press through your palms to push yourself back into this position. And draw your shoulder blades down your back. Now, on your next inhale, walk your feet up to meet your palms, and we'll meet in a ragdoll position. Just let your torso and your head hang heavily, and bring your hands to your opposite elbow creases, and just let everything hang here. Again, you can pedal out your legs a little bit. Find what feels good, shake your head. Just let that tension flow off your shoulders and the crown of your head. Bring your hands to the ground or to your knees. Shake your head a little bit. Release any tension in that neck. And on your next inhale, bring your hands to your shins. Come to a halfway lift with a flat back, long, beautiful neck. Exhale yourself down and come all the way up to a standing position. Bring your arms up high. And exhale your arms to your sides. Inhale your arms back up. Grab your left wrist with your right hand and stretch over to your right side. This should feel really good through your left side body, your left shoulder. Then we do the same thing on the other side. Inhale back up, grab your right wrist with your left hand, and bend over to your left. Find a nice stretch through your right side body here. With every breath, try to go a little bit deeper into this pose. Come back to center and exhale your arms back down. Next we'll do eagle arms on both sides, so bring your right arm underneath your left elbow and wrap your hands around so that they touch. Try to draw your shoulders down here and keep your arms directly in front of you. And to find a nicer stretch through the back of your shoulders and your neck, move your arms up and down in like a sewing machine fashion. You can also move your head around here a little bit. Circle your neck. This should feel really good in your shoulders and upper back and neck. Just find what feels good to you right here. Really take some nice deep breaths here to work out all the kinks while you're moving your head around. Release your arms. We're going to do a counter pose. Clasp your fingers behind your back and slowly move your clasped palms downward. Now bend forward and come to a forward fold with your arms and hands reaching towards the sky. Make sure to draw your shoulder blades down your back here and still engage them a little bit in this forward fold. One more breath here and come all the way up to standing position again. We'll do eagle arms on the other side. So wrap your left arm underneath your right shoulder, twist your arms around themselves and bring your palms together on this side as well. Again here, draw your shoulder blades down, but at the same time, move your forearms and hands up and down in kind of a sewing machine fashion. This should be a really good stretch through your upper back area. Again, try and move your head around your neck, work those kinks out, and find what it is that you need today to have a healthy and happy upper back and neck. Release your arms and clasp your hands behind your back. This time take the other clasp, the one that feels a little weird. And on your next exhale, come down to a forward fold and your arms and hands pointing up to the sky. Just let your head hang loose here and let any tension dissolve in your neck area. Now release your hands and come to a forward fold again. One more breath here, and then step your feet back, plant your hands, and lower yourself all the way down to the ground onto your belly. Bring your arms out to T shape. Lower your head to the ground. Bring your right cheek to the ground, look to the left. Now with your right arm still outstretched, slowly turn yourself over onto your right hip. Bend your left knee and plant your left foot behind you. You should feel a really strong, intense stretch through your right shoulder. You can use your left hand to kind of prop yourself up in this position. Stay here for a couple of breaths. You can also play around with the position of your right arm. The stretch will be more intense if you move your right arm up a bit. And use your breaths to really work those kinks out in your right shoulder area. Now slowly make your way back to center. Lie down on your belly. Bring your arms to a T and switch the position of your head with your left cheek on the ground. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Roll over onto your left hip. Bring your right foot behind you and use your right arm to prop yourself up. Again, here you can play around with the position of your left arm if you want a deeper, more intense stretch. And use those deep breaths to really relax and let all the tension go in your left shoulder. Slowly make your way back to center and come to lie on your belly again with your arms stretched out to a T. We're just going to lie here for a couple of breaths with your head still turned to the right. Deep breaths in here. Really bring your attention and focus to your upper back and neck. Maybe you'll even feel it relaxing. You might even hear some clicks and cracks in your neck. That's totally fine. It's just the muscles relaxing and allowing you to melt into this position. On your next inhale, switch the position of your head and bring your right cheek to the ground. And take some nice, deep, nourishing breaths on this side as well. We're going to do a Super Cobra pose here for your upper back. So bring your fingers out next to your shoulders and bend your elbows. Press your feet strongly into the ground, engage those legs, and lift your upper body and head up. And exhale your body back down to the ground. Again, press your feet strongly, strong legs. Inhale your upper body up, and exhale back down. One more time, inhale to Super Cobra here, and exhale back down. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale up to Super Cobra, exhale back down. Inhale up, strong legs, and exhale back down. Bring your hands in front of you, palms on top of each other, and rest your forehead on your palms here. Now bring your arms along your sides, fingers pointing towards your feet. Strong legs here, really engage through those legs and feet. Inhale and lift your legs up off the ground. One more inhale here, and exhale everything down to the ground and relax. On your next inhale, press your feet and legs into the ground and inhale your upper body up. Strong arms reaching behind you, long beautiful neck, and exhale your upper body back down to the ground. On our next inhale, we'll do both arms and legs. So prepare yourself, strong legs, strong arms, and inhale both arms and legs up off the ground, long beautiful neck. Take a couple breaths here. Engage, and inhale your legs and upper body and arms back down to the ground. We'll do that one more time. Again, remember to keep strong legs, point those feet, strong arms, engage that back. And inhale and bring your legs and arms off the ground engage here. Take a couple of breaths. You can do it. One more breath here. And just let everything sink down into the ground. Bring those palms in front of you and rest your forehead on the backs of your hands. One more breath in this position, and then we'll make our way onto our back. If you have a block or a book or something to elevate your hips, then grab that. Come down onto your back, draw your shoulders down along your back, and bring your heels in so that your outstretched arms can just touch your heels. Before coming into a full bridge pose, we're going to play around with the position of our pelvis. So just roll your pelvis back and forth, lift it up just a little bit, a couple of inches off the ground, and lay it back down on the floor. Again, lift your pelvis up just a bit, maybe a little higher this time, and exhale it all the way back down onto the floor. On your next inhale, we'll come all the way up to a full bridge pose. Bring your pelvis up. And you can shimmy your shoulders underneath you and clasp your hands behind your back, just as we did earlier in standing. Make sure your hips are level and in line with your knees and shoulders, and take a couple breaths in this position. It should really open up through your chest. On your next exhale, release your hands and vertebrae by vertebrae, slowly bring your pelvis back down to the ground. Now, if you don't have a block, you can just go ahead and do bridge pose again with clasped hands behind your back. If you do have a block, then just bring it underneath your sacrum. You can bring it to any of the positions that you like, that feels good. The lowest, the middle position, or even the highest position. The highest position for me is a little bit too high in this situation, so I'm choosing the middle position of the block. And just let your hips become heavy. Relax into the support of the block. Again, make sure that the block is situated underneath your sacrum and not underneath your lower back. Again, if you don't have a block, you can just do a normal bridge pose here, or bring your pelvis down to the ground and just relax in that position. For those of you who are using the block, lift your hips up and remove the block, and bring your pelvis down to the ground. Bring your feet wide and let your knees just flop in until they touch each other. You can bring one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart here. And just breathe deeply into your belly and relax into this position here. This is our constructive rest position with our knees bent. I'm going to do this for another couple of breaths before we then move into our final resting pose, Shavasana. On your next exhale, slowly stretch your feet out. Maybe bring your feet a little wider than hip width today. Should feel really good. And stretch your arms out by your sides. Draw your shoulders down your back. We want to have a nice, beautiful long neck here, nothing crunched up. And relax into Shavasana. Take another couple of nourishing breaths in this pose. And when you feel ready, start to bring some movement into your hands and feet. Move your neck and head side to side. And roll over to whichever side feels most comfortable to you. In your own time, make your way to a comfortable seated position. We'll bring our hands in prayer in front of us. Thanks so much for joining me today in this practice. Namaste.